Good morning, class. Today we're going to be making scratch biscuits. Your I can statement for today is, today I can actually measure out ingredients, thoroughly mix them well, and create biscuits from scratch. Alright, first and foremost, the first thing we need to do is preheat your oven. I've already preheated this oven. It's the 425 for what the recipe calls for. Then we need to wash our hands. So, I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Okay, once you get your hands ready, you need to gather all your ingredients for what your recipe calls for. And in today's recipe, we have the self-rising flour. We have, which is 2 cups and a quarter of flour, 3/4 cups of shortening, and a cup of milk, and a pinch of salt. So, first, I already got my flour in the bowl. Then we're going to add the shortening. Now, some recipes may call that you add into a food processor, which makes this process faster than what I'm getting ready to do. Is I'm going to take a fork and I'm going to mix my flour and shortening together. It's going to cause both the mixtures to be very, very fluffy, and whenever I get done mixing it up thoroughly. While this will take a little time while we're sitting here doing this. We will talk about biscuits. Biscuits, you have to be very, 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 very gentle with. You cannot be very hard with your hands, squeeze the dough, or anything like that. The yeast will leave the dough and cause your biscuits not to rise at all. But today we're using self-rising flour, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Okay. This stuff's starting to come in nice and fluffy on me here. And the recipe calls for salt. We will add the salt as soon as this gets done. I get done mixing it up thoroughly. And as you can see, I'll bring this up closer for y'all to see. This is what the mixture starts to look like. This is when the shortening and flour combine together. It starts to mix little bitty balls and clumps together. Okay, so that's pretty well mixed up good. And so we're going to add a pinch of salt. A pinch of salt is how it is measured out. If you want to measure it out, it will only be with whatever you can fit in your thumb and forefinger. That is a pinch. That will also be on your test at the end of the year, so that's very important to keep remember of that. Okay? When you add your salt, mix it up thoroughly good with everything else. If you don't mix your salt in with this everything, your salt will just be clumped right there in the middle, so it needs to be stirred in everything else. Okay? When we get that good, have my cup of milk. You can use any type of milk that you want. Okay, just pour it in there. Now start mixing it up. Now this will cause your dough to become very sticky, and that's what we want here off the bat. As you can tell, this is what we call wet. This is very, 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 very wet. And after a while, when I'm sitting here mixing it with a fork, I'm catching little balls of flour and grease that were still in there. It's going to start coming loose, and it'll start causing it to get dried out. But right now it's still wet. And in the case of what this recipe may have happened, because we've done this in the past, it will still be wet. And what you will do is you have a little bit of excess flour, and you will just sprinkle it on top and just mix it in with it too to help dry up some of the moisture that's in the dough. Okay, so here it is before I add this other flour in. This is the dough. You take your finger and you touch it, and see this is still wet. Okay, it's sticky. So all you need to do is just take your excess flour that you're having, just sprinkle on top. Nothing crazy. You don't have to pour a whole mess of like a cup of flour on it. Then you just mix it up in here with it. Okay. Now, we're getting ready to place our dough out of our bowl. Again, put some flour here on your little. This is my little tail I didn't put on the oven here. Okay. Then just take it and rake it out onto the flour. Okay. Just to be on the safe side, we'll put some more flour on top. Get where we can be able to move it around with our hands. Okay. And now, this is the most important part of making biscuits. Is to don't stick your fingers and hands into the dough. You need to be sitting and gently tap it. Because this is the part where all the yeast can rise up in the air and your biscuits won't rise at all. So what I like to do is I just like to tap it. Just to tap it, just to keep everything. You can sit here and mold it how you want to when you tap it. But this just keeps the dough and the yeast keeping it active before you put it in the oven. Okay, and when you get to this part, like this looks pretty good here. When you get to this part, to see how your dough is it still soft or is it hard, you just take it and you just gently touch it. And if you've done it right, it should feel like a pillow. If you've done it wrong, it'll feel like you balled your fist up and it's hard as a rock. That's what we do not want to happen. So just take your time and just pat it out. There's no rush during this process. Okay. Once we get it nice and molded out, there's flour on top. Everything's looking good. Okay. I'm using a jelly jar. This is what I like to use. I'm going to cut the biscuits. Okay. So all you do is, if you have any little flour left, you just put it on the outside of your cup so the dough's going to be sticky inside so it don't stick to it. Just take the corner of it and take it out and place it on your pan. Now, when I'm sitting here cutting these and putting them on my pan, I want to keep them close together so they'll cook and so they'll rise all evenly. So here's our biscuits getting ready to go in the oven. I try to keep them towards the center so they all cook evenly and put them in a circle and put one in the middle so they all go together. And then we'll stick them in the oven for 20 minutes on 425. And this is what the outcome will look like. Nice homemade biscuits. Tomorrow y'all will be doing this, so hope you pay attention and follow my instructions how the recipe goes. Thank you.